Well, they're three very good hockey players, and they're also outstanding young men. So those two guys that had the privilege of working together with them, part of the NTDP, for almost 2 years now, and all three guys have done a great job, and all three guys are having great seasons, and all three of these players too. They're just they're highly competitive young men. They're guys that want to learn. They want to get better every day. They come ready to work, and so they're a lot of fun to be around. Oh, obviously a tremendous skill set. His stick skills, his skating, you can go through the list. His technical skills are outstanding. But is the way he reads the game, his, sense, whatever you want to call it, his hockey mind. He just has an incredible ability to know what's around him, a great ability in terms of knowing where the space is, anticipating the next play, and then he's got this such a great skill set to be able to act on what he's seeing, what he's feeling, the pressure that's out there. So when you have a player like that, he's dangerous every time that he's on the ice. And Will's a guy who's all he works on both sides of the puck. He's a guy that you can trust in any situation. He's having a really strong year. He's a lot of fun to work with, but that hockey sense and that skill, you combine that, makes for a pretty dangerous player. Well, I think that one of the things with Will that makes him such a dangerous player is it's whatever the game calls for, whatever the situation calls for, and he's a guy who can score tight, he can score from distance, he's got a really strong release, but he can also he can be showing shot, and then at the last second he can make that play to somebody on the other side, on the back side, and when you got a player like that who's a dual threat, it's hard to you can't guess. Defenders can't guess on him because if you do, he's probably going to do the opposite of what you were thinking. The first word that comes to mind is power with him. He leads everything with power. He's an extremely, extremely competitive person, extremely, extremely competitive athlete. The power that he drives with, and it's not just the physical power, it's his ability to separate, his first step, his ability to just come out of a traffic situation or off the rush in zone. Like he's just, you see him compared to, we're playing college games a lot of times this year, and, he's one of the most powerful players on the ice against players that are, 4 or 5 years older than him, if not older. And then when you see that power that he can play with against his own age group, it's really something. But a great skill set, a really heavy shot. But he's also a guy that can make plays. And so it's similar there in the sense that if you give him time and space to shoot it, like he's going to get a really high quality chance off. But when that space gets taken away, he can also make a play in tight. And so when you got a guy like that, he leads with power, but the skill, and the vision and all that kicks in as well. And he can attack the game in a lot of different ways. Strength, determination, athleticism. There's a long list. He plays the game like a big player. Whatever. And I think people that play against him, like they see a big player, they're playing against a big player. He is a hockey player. The best way to describe him, which I know isn't really maybe necessarily saying much substance, but he's a guy that of much substance of who he is. But when I say he's a hockey player, I mean he just kind of he can do a little bit of everything. He's a guy who can on the power play, penalty kill, 5-on-5. He can play different forward positions. He's probably I think about as good of a compliment as you can give somebody is saying like he's just an all-around hockey player, and that's exactly what comes to mind with him because he goes out there and he can impact the game in a lot of different ways, but he's got a little bit of that Swiss Army knife to him in the sense that on any given night he can help you in different ways. He can help you in terms of coming up with a big goal or a big play, or he's going to help you coming up with a big shot block or a big defensive play. And that's what he does. And on any given night, you don't know exactly what it's going to be, but you're going to expect, and we expect, because we've seen it so much, consistency, and that he's going to find a way to impact the game. He's one of the things that I think you got to see him a lot to really appreciate is, just how strong he is on the puck and how good he is at making plays in tight areas. He does that consistently, whether it's on the walls, whether it's behind the net in the offensive zone, whether it's, little plays that he makes off the rush. They're the ones that maybe don't stand out to people as much, but like you appreciate it because he's consistent with his ability to do that. And he's a guy who's, he's scored a lot of big goals and made a lot of big offensive plays in his time here. And so he's just, Will is a hockey player. He's going to go out there, you know what you're going to get from him every night, and he's going to, whatever it might be, he's going to find a way to help the team that day. They're outstanding young men, all three of them. They're guys that I think they're great teammates. They're guys that I think everybody enjoys. Every buddy on the team, every staff member, you enjoy being around these guys. These are guys too that they, all three of them, are having strong years and strong careers here at the NTDP. They're all guys too that I think they come to work every day. They're a pleasure to be around. And they care genuinely about the team first. And so those are the types of guys that, you really enjoy coaching. And those are the things that probably don't get seen by people on the outside as much, but are extremely important. Yeah, all three of those guys, and then there's three others that are also going with them off this team. So it's exciting. I think these guys are all three of these players that we're talking about. These guys they got extremely bright futures. They're extremely competitive. They want to win. I would say this if they're anywhere they were going, but I really feel strongly, they're going to Boston College next. It's going to be, they're going to help drive things here and help, a program that's obviously had a ton of success in the past continue in line with that and continue to have success in the future. So I'm excited for them. It's they're going to be guys that'll be a lot of fun to watch here in the future.